Should we clap?
No need to clap. No need to clap.
Let's just clap.
Why?
Because this is audio, and we definitely need to sync our video.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
No, I'll do
Doesn't
it.
Make it easier.
I'll do it in post. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
I'll do it.
We're doing it live.
Because that's for syncing audio and video. You can't hear the sync
know,
across all. Okay.
I think
it depends on how when you receive the clap. It's
3,
different from when
2, 1, clap.
Why? Why are you doing this? Why?
What's up, guys?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the 146th episode of Downtime Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, and today I have three very, very special guests. Returning is DJB.
Yo, what's up?
We have Matt.
What's up?
And we have Ryan.
I am here.
Welcome back, everyone. So I had a podcast with just DJB, and then I had a podcast with you two, and now it's all of us together.
Yeah, it's a party, y'all.
It's like a peanut butter sandwich right now.
Hell yeah, dude. So yeah, what's going on,
it's
guys?
Peanut butter with 4 different flavors of brown.
Is this peanut butter just all over the whole
It's
sandwich?
hazelnut. It's chocolate. You know, we got everything.
I'll be Nutella. I've been adding Nutella to my PB peanut butter sandwiches lately.
Yeah.
So peanut butter Nutella.
Wow, you got that rich boy life over here, huh?
And since I'm allergic, my side won't have any.
Oh, snap.
You just got plain peanut butter and jelly.
So we're basically a living nightmare for Jeremy.
Yeah. We're like an extra dose of bad.
No joke. In middle school, I had a bunch of just jelly sandwiches. Like my mom would make my brother peanut butter and jelly, and I would just have jelly sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And it was not the best thing in the world, but it was not the worst thing to eat. It was good.
No,
It was
okay.
good, though.
What type of jelly do you guys like? I'm sorry, I'm kind of. What type of jelly?
Oh man.
Are you into just regular grape? Because I found out the best jelly for me is strawberry, and not just jelly, but jam. I want a little bit more grit than just the regular jelly. I don't know. Is that weird?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks. That was a long pause. I wasn't sure.
I was trying to comprehend your question. I was like, what is he asking?
The texture, you know?
Yeah, I've only grown up eating like grape jelly, so that's all I know. I don't really have a...
Right? You gotta break yourself. It took me 20 years to finally...
Jesus.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And I was one of those kids who only ate peanut butter, not jelly sandwiches.
Oh, wow.
And it took me a while to even start with the grape. So this is, I'm breaking boundaries right now, boys.
Maybe I should start eating peanut butter.
Yeah. But jelly.
Just answer the jelly question.
Jelly.
Yeah, answer the jelly question. Yeah, what's y'all favorite? This is important. Before we start this podcast.
I was never really a big jelly fan, honestly.
Really?
Me neither. I really just kind of ate
Really?
plain peanut butter sandwiches. I feel like the only jelly that I ever really store bought was like the Smucker's like jelly.
Oh, okay.
Was that the one where they
people.
mix the two inside the jar?
No, like I know the brand has like regular like jellies like off the shelf, but yeah, they have that pre-mixed peanut butter, but I'm not talking about that one. But I'm just talking about like the regular strawberry and grape jellies.
I've only grown up eating Smucker's grape or Welch's grape, and that's all I know. And I need to explore. Yeah, shout out to Welch. I need to get more.
I'm telling you, man. Even like just the generic, like Safeway or Rayleigh's brand, like strawberry jam is pretty badass. I don't know We sound like old. Well, I sound like an old man just talking about jelly. But you know,
No, I'm
what?
with you, man. Strawberry
Right?
jam.
Yeah,
I'm
strawberry
with
jam.
you. You
It's
sound
like
like an old man.
It's like a treat. Wait, I forget. Jeremy, can we curse?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
say fuck.
Okay, fuck you, Matt. Fuck you.
I love that you had to
So
ask
polite first.
permission.
Host rules. Host rules.
No, yeah, you're fine to say whatever.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Because Ryan is such a huge fan and he's listened to every episode. He was just asking that for the sake of the viewers or listeners.
For the
rather.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah, he just wanted
Yo,
to
shout out.
He wanted
Shout
to
out
ask.
to the Discord crew. Shout out to the Discord crew.
Yeah, you hear that, everyone? Ryan's listening.
Of course, always. Anyway. Oh, if we're going to talk about current events, you know, I did not secure an Xbox pre-order. It was way too... If we're going to talk about video games, unfortunately. I don't know about you guys, if you guys were... Because I think last time we were asking if anyone was going to even pre-order. And I actually tried, just in case, just to see, but
Right.
it was gone by the time I actually woke up for it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gotta wait a little bit, right? Because it's like less than a month until it comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, is
I
it that
know.
soon already? Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It goes election and then console releases. It's great.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hear me out, Ryan. There's the strategy.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
You go to GameStop the day
Yeah.
of release, and then you wait for the last person in line to go pick up their Xbox, and then you take out your paring knife, and that's all you need to do. So
Oh my god.
You know what? You're right. You're right. But instead of a paring knife, it'll be a butterfly knife.
Oh.
And, you know, be more authentic that way.
Or how about whatever knife
Oh.
you use to make your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? That way you kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Is this still covered in peanut butter? You're just like, oh shit.
Well, now it's going to be covered in jam. So, hey.
Oh damn.
Jeremy, scrub this part of the podcast. Thank you.
It'll be there still. Watch.
Damn it. Fix it in post, please.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask about the smoke in your guys' area, since in San Francisco
yeah.
proper, it's been pretty clear for the past few days, but it's been kind of moderate as far as like smoke goes.
It's
Yeah.
been okay for me so far, but I've been pretty strict in quarantine, so I don't really go outside that much. I'm sure you guys probably see the outdoors way more than I do these days.
Yeah, in Petaluma, where I work, you could definitely still see the haze coming in. It's interesting. Petaluma sort of like, maybe like 3 weeks ago, you know, I noticed the big smoke coming, and it took like a full half of the day for it to actually come into Petaluma proper. So but you know, the past 2 weeks though, it's been clear. You can still see the haze in the outline in the background, but it's been much easier to breathe, fortunately.
No, I'm happy to hear that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy too, because like, you know, I don't have bad asthma anymore, but it's still in the back, you know? So I was like, God, if it gets any more smokier during the week, I'm just gonna have to like sit down because I get lightheaded.
Right, it could still act it up in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
I do feel
Yeah.
that though. I think when the wildfires were first happening, like it was like very like kind of like smoky and kind of the areas that I've gone out in. And like unlike Ryan, like I have asthma too, but like it comes and goes. So this is one of those seasons
Yeah,
it's been
exactly.
like particularly bad. But like it would suck because like I would go outside and spend like a few hours and I'd be fine, but then I'd come back inside. And because of like all of the effects of like inhaling the smoke, then I would have like migraines for like the next few days because like
Oh wow.
but, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. Like in the areas I've been in, like it's cleared up like as of recently, so it's not as bad anymore. But I remember when it first happened, and like it was kind of unbearable. Like I would want to just like nap all the time because my really doctor credential remedy for having a headache is to just go to sleep. So I would just spend hours sleeping.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, sounds
Yep.
That's a good one.
I want to sleep. I want to sleep a lot.
Do you not get sleep anymore?
Same.
I don't. I actually, there's just a lot of things going on at work, and I just,
Yeah.
I can't find
Is your
a lot of time
schedule
to sleep.
still? Yeah. Is your sleep schedule still messed up because of work or just because of quarantine?
Both, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is a messed up sleep schedule
know.
to you guys, though?
I mean, okay. So here's the thing. I work outside a lot, but my sleep schedule is I only get 5 hours of sleep, which is 12 to 5.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. Like, I know I'll still be tired, but that's all. Like, unless I take, those, what are those vitamins that help you?
Melatonin.
Yeah, melatonin. Then I can
Yeah.
maybe get 6 hours on a good day.
You can only
But,
get one
like,
extra hour out of taking
Yeah.
Oh,
melatonin.
man.
Yeah,
Damn.
I know. My body's weird, but that's only on days that I know I'm working. On days that I'm not working, I can sleep for like the entire day. It's just so the stress of working,
Yep.
I guess.
Yep.
Is just built into my body. So
I
I
feel
don't know.
Doesn't that like screw up your sleeping schedule if you sleep all day on the day you're not working and then you go
yeah,
back to
I mean,
work?
like I said, it's a theoretical. I can sleep all day. I still, unfortunately, I maybe have like 8 hours of sleep on days off. So it's a bit better, but it doesn't necessarily screw it up as bad as it can be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, get sleep, y'all. Everyone
Well-
needs more sleep.
But Jeremy, how is your
It's
sleep
hard.
schedule messed up?
Yeah, like what
Ah.
hours do you actually sleep?
Yeah.
Well, I've been waking up a lot because there's a lot of early in the morning because we have meetings with other countries. So
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
I sleep from like 1 until like 6 a.m. or I try to sleep at like 11, but then I usually can't fall asleep until 1. And that's where I think it's kind of messed up. I think I think too
Mhm.
much about work. I feel too stressed out during the day. And so when I finally
Do you
lay
have
down-
screens near you? Do you have your phone near you?
Yeah, I try not to watch YouTube or
Oh.
anything, but I put it down
Yeah.
and I just have like a restless night for like 2 hours, and then I
Uh-huh.
finally am able to kick the bucket.
Yeah. Do you guys have white noise machines or anything like that to help you?
I have an air filter.
Ah,
I do, but
that does work.
I don't use those that often. But you know what
Okay.
does, for whatever reason, make me feel sleepy, and
Uh-huh.
and I use it sometimes when I just like can't seem to fall asleep. Is,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Well, do you? Because
Nope.
it's funny enough. If I watch like Overwatch League or
Really?
people try to play Valorant, like if I
That
watch
would
other
keep me
people play
awake.
Valorant, I'll fall asleep. I don't know why. I don't really know
Is it
why.
the colors?
Maybe
Are they bad players?
It could be the repetitive, like because I
Mhm.
hear those noises all the time. I don't know. I don't know what it
It's
is,
in-
but
No, it's good
I'll
background
be
noise.
watching it on my
I hear it.
phone. Sure, but
Uh-huh.
I'll be watching it on my phone, and then I'll notice like I'm dozing off as I'm trying to pay attention to whatever shoot gunplay this person's doing.
Do you want
It's
to know?
interesting
Do you want to
because
know?
like you play
Go
the
ahead.
game. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's interesting because you're playing the game, and when you play the game, you don't feel sleepy. But then when you watch it, you feel sleepy. I understand that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Do you know what I got into is like using there's an app on iOS is called the Rain app, and hashtag not sponsored,
Oh.
but it's an app that literally like I use because it can simulate basically like an endless loop of like rain or ocean sounds, but like it has pretty much anything that you could think of that would relax people. It has white noise, it has like airline sounds because apparently some people feel
Oh,
more
yeah.
like
Sure,
easily
yeah.
fall asleep when they hear like the airline sounds and stuff like that. Everything from like space
No,
to
that-
ocean to city to rain.
No, that could work.
But I don't know. That's an app that I really like when it comes to like not being able to sleep but needing some ambient noise, or even like just like reading or like I don't know, like working from home. I would like play that app.
Have any of you guys tried that sleep app or whatever that I guess it was like heavily advertised maybe like a year
Pokemon
ago?
Sleep.
No. It's like this app that has like these actors that just kind of like start whispering to background music. It's like, free your mind. You are falling asleep, and now we begin our story.
I think I saw those YouTube apps. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
YouTube.
What the
ads.
heck
Come with
is that?
Shia LaBeouf.
What is this app you're describing? What the hell?
No,
think
it's
they had
cool.
the
You gotta look
actor
it
that
up.
plays Bronn from Game of Thrones as one of the voices.
Oh shit, that's dope.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
I've never tried it, but I remember seeing the ads all the time, so I was wondering if you guys have ever tried it.
Yeah. No.
No,
The
never.
The only thing closest to that was when I used to load up 10 hours of what is it, Star Trek, The Next Generation, like space.
Right, the
space
bridge,
noise.
the bridge
Oh,
sound.
yeah, I've done
the
that before.
bridge noise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
and
gonna.
that-
Yeah,
Yeah, that soothes me. I'm like, but then I keep forgetting to do that. So
I was just gonna mention there's that channel that has 10 hours of like different sounds, like deep space sounds or like Star Trek
Yeah.
Next Generation bridge sound effects, and
yeah, the bridge.
I
noise,
think
like,
it's a really cool way to fall asleep to like those sounds.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like beep beep, or like those noises, those little beeps and boops in the background.
yeah,
It's
and
so
just,
cool.
Just yeah,
There's one that's like 10 hours of like Isla Nublar, which is Jurassic Park, and then it's just like a bunch of like dinosaur roars in the background while rain is falling. It's so weird. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
I'd be able to sleep to this. It's kind of scary.
This is kind of related, but did anybody see like there was a Hulu ad for the new season of Animaniacs where they straight up like shot for shot like did a scene from Jurassic Park, which is
I saw that,
hilarious.
yeah.
Because
I saw that. That was
it's Steven
so
Spielberg,
awesome.
which is hilarious.
I have not seen it, but I need to look this up.
yeah.
I-
Now,
I was like, I feel like I was like, I don't know, and I still am to a degree, like cautiously optimistic about like a new season of like a really old '90s show. But like when I saw that they
Yeah.
were gonna reference stuff that old still, like I'm like, okay, I could get down with this. Like,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
I didn't see the trailer.
but
I need to check
They're
this out.
grabbing that
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. What type of animation style is it? Is it the
Oh, it's like-
throwback Animaniac?
no, it's more like it's vector animation.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
It looks cool.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
as far as the story and is it going to be the same? You know, like is it going to feel the same? We'll
knows?
see.
Because I'll watch some of the old Animaniacs episodes, and like there's some humor that I never got when I was
Oh,
a kid,
yeah.
but I get it
Oh,
now.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so freaking
And it's
clever.
dirty.
You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the jokes too.
yeah, for real.
There's stuff in Rugrats that you don't think about as a kid because the adults are talking about it. You're like, I don't care what the adults say.
Sure.
And then you
Yeah.
go back and you watch that episode, you're like, oh fuck, I think that character has a problem. Like,
Yeah.
oh
They
shit.
might have a drinking problem or something.
I
Yeah,
distinctly
yeah,
remember
yeah.
there was an episode of Rugrats where he's like, he's like putting the children to sleep, and he's like talking directly to them. He's like, and after you guys go to bed, I'm gonna watch Space Vixens from like I don't know. And I was just like, whoa.
Whoa.
So
Nickelodeon.
when you're babysitting the children and while they're still there. Okay.
It's kind of weird, my dude. That's pretty funny. So speaking of disrupted sleep schedules, it's been I've been plagued by this one game that I've been playing. It's a horror game. Now the whole
Is it
intention
Dead by
of this
Daylight?
podcast.
Guys,
No,
check out
no.
Dead by Daylight, my compilation.
I'm
It's,
gonna talk about that later. But like,
yo, Discord crew, mark it down. He already talked about Dead by Daylight. Only how many minutes in?
It's
10
okay.
minutes in.
Since we're on Discord, when Jeremy starts talking, you guys just let me know. I'm gonna lower his volume, and then just one of you guys just tell me when to jump back in. Okay.
no, so I want to talk about horror games and spooky
Yes.
stuff for this podcast. But to start it off, I've been playing this game called Phasmophobia,
Yeah.
and DJB is the one that actually
yeah.
encouraged me to play this game with him. So I bought it just to play with him, and I've actually been hooked on this game. Day one, I started playing it with DJB. I fucking could not sleep that night. I was so scared, and DJB can attest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
dude.
real. I'm surprised to hear that you're saying you're hooked to this game now, because when we first played that one time, like it seemed like you couldn't stand the game.
Yeah.
You-
I know. And since I learned about it more and started playing it more, I think I faced my fears.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got this addictive nature to it, and it's
I think that's just being addicted to the adrenaline rush, right?
Maybe.
That's why people like go on roller coasters, even though they don't like roller coasters.
true, or don't like the feeling.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's like ghost investigating, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always wanted to do that, regardless if you believe in ghosts or not.
Right.
And
it's like
it's a cool premise, you know?
yeah, and to give some context to people who are listening who don't know what Phasmophobia is, or maybe you do because it's so fucking popular, but Phasmophobia is a 4-player co-op ghost hunting game where you go to different houses, which are basically different maps, and you look for ghosts, and you have to figure out what type of ghost it is. You're given a bunch of equipment, but when you finish a match, you get money, and you can put that money towards better and better equipment. The more you level up, the better the equipment gets. And yeah, it's crazy because the way I describe it is it's like the show, what is it, Ghost Hunters, but if the ghosts were actually there.
Yeah.
Real, yeah. Well, and then you could, or even like Ghost Adventures, where you could be a bit more antagonistic, you know, when you're calling out the name.
Sure,
and
but the
whatnot.
difference is you can actually die by the ghost.
Yeah. That's
People in the
cool
show
thing.
don't die; they just get out unscathed.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you can actually insult the ghost and call the ghost names in the game, and it'll start getting mad at you and get angry faster.
That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, you can cuss it out. Like we always try to cuss it out and try to get it to show up.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, it's a super fun game. Yeah, I want all of us to play it.
Now, does any of you
I'm down.
guys have VR?
Just let me know next
that
time we play.
support that? Yeah.
I don't have VR,
Yeah.
but I have a buddy who does, and it looks really derpy when you're playing with someone who's in VR because their hands all moving everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's strange.
But if you're the person in VR, then it looks even crazier to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's like playing like Resident Evil 7 in VR. Like it's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know what's cool about Phasmophobia 2, I think, is that there's potential for DLC in the sense that like they could add more ghosts, of course. They could add
yeah.
more tools that you can use to like in the process of ghost hunting, like I don't know, just pay $2.99 for the ability to use holy water or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it could go in like a multitude of different directions, you know.
Yeah.
I joined the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just want to say, in terms of like extra stuff that for DLC, like my mom and I watch a lot of ghost shows, so they have a shitload of equipment. I don't know if they really work
Sure.
or not, but they could easily DLC monetize
yeah,
that
sure.
and
Like
put it
like
in the game.
recently, I
you know?
saw
It's
like a video of these ghost hunters that use like a laser grid
yeah.
that detects
Oh yeah.
what do you call it? Just motion within the lasers or whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Another thing is like an electron camera. It shoots out electrons, and you can see. Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a TikTok app
probably
that
bullshit.
apparently like
Yeah.
can find ghosts, like the shape of ghosts in
Yeah.
with your camera. Add
What
that to
the
Yeah, so,
Phasmophobia.
I mean, they.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I joined the official Phasmophobia Discord channel just
Oh,
to stay up to
nice.
date on all the updates of the game because it comes directly from the devs.
Oh, that's cool.
So there are people in like the game suggestion section that are like, there's someone who posted a map for a cruise ship. They're like, can you make this like a level? And it's like very extensive. I was surprised at how much time and thought was put into that map. It was like
Yeah.
a fan who just submitted it to the devs. They're like, hey, make this a map. And the devs didn't say anything. Maybe they're considering it, but you can actually look at the devs Trello board and see which like things are in progress and which things are on the
Yeah.
backlog. So
Mhm.
some things that they're adding for future updates are new levels and maps, which include a prison level, apartment building,
cool.
and a mansion.
Oh wow, okay.
Classic.
New equipment such as night vision goggles, SLS camera, and a spotlight item
Yes.
for a tripod, so you could put like a giant spotlight. And another thing that's really cool is that they're gonna let a player be the ghost, so it'll be
Oh,
like Dead
wow.
by Daylight, pretty much.
Oh shit! All right, so there you go. Another drop from Jeremy. Dead by Daylight reference number 2.
God damn it!
Mark it down, folks.
Now the question is,
Take a shot every time.
are they going to
Yeah.
have ranked Phasmophobia though?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh, competitive Phasmophobia. Oh man, I mean,
Don't worry, the MLG is on it.
they don't do competitive DBD either. They don't do it to the sense that it's like a big event. They only do it between Twitch streamers who are like well known within the community, and they just pit them against each other, and someone rotates as the killer every time.
What I meant was more like just skill ranking, kind of how like they do in Valorant, Overwatch, etc. Like an SR rating for players.
Cool. Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Get double S.
Yeah. Wait, so they don't have that for Dead by Daylight?
They don't have they have ranks in the game for each individual player to tell you how good you are, but that's pretty much it. That's like the only thing. But
the game looks so cool.
Man.
I watched a couple of your guys' streams, and I was like just cracking up, just like, fuck you, whatever your ghost name is. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's silly. Like, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. Like, you can actually talk to the ghost. There's an item called the spirit box. It's like a radio.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and so like we always ask it questions like, where are you? Like, how old are you? Like, what do you want? Are you friendly? And then like yesterday, it just kept responding, adult. Like, where are you? Adult. What do you want? Adult. You want an adult? Come on. Dude.
You need an adult?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then that's the part that it's like kind of jank. Like there's a bunch of other things in the game that are pretty janky, but
this is still early access, right? How much does this cost right now?
It's $13.
Oh, that's very reasonable. Yeah.
Very, very reasonable for like a janky game.
Yeah, and how many maps are there so far?
There's like asylum, high school, 2 farmhouses, and then
there's
3
like 4
street houses.
templates, I guess, but there's like some variation.
A little variation in between.
Same type of aesthetic per few maps,
Okay, I think I've seen them all.
Yeah, like some maps have an Ouija board. Some maps have the power switch on the first floor. Sometimes it's in the attic. Sometimes it's on the second floor. Things like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, right now that's probably my favorite horror game, I think, and I recommend y'all to play it, except for DJB, who's already playing it. But Matt and Ryan, if you guys if you guys have a chance, Matt has a dope ass computer, and Ryan, I don't know if it is on Mac. I don't know if it's on Mac, and it's definitely not on console.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, boys. I'll just watch y'all.
Okay, that's fine with me. That's fine with me, man.
We'll just stream to the Discord.
Yeah, dude. Basically. Hell yeah. So I want to talk about all of our favorite horror games, but I wanted to extend the same question that I answered to you guys. Like, what horror games are you playing right now, if any? DJB, how about you go first, man?
We've already established that I've played Phasmophobia. It's good streaming content. Everyone on Twitch these days is just all over Phasmophobia right now.
Yeah, I love it.
Phasmophobia and Among Us probably take up arguably 50% of what most streamers are doing right now. But
Yep.
That's horror enough,
But other than that, like right now, I guess I would count The Last of Us 2. I'm still trudging through that one, and I'm trying to beat it before the ending or anything gets spoiled about the story to me.
That's a good plan.
I saw that you were streaming like 2 nights ago at 3 a.m. I was like, oh my god, I wish I caught it. Like, I wish I stayed up to watch it, but I didn't know that you were gonna do that. I was like, damn.
No. Like I mentioned before, like, I do that deliberately just because I don't want trolls coming through. Not that I'm saying you're a troll, but like just like
sure.
During the more peak hours when people would watch streams, I don't want anyone coming through and trying to spoil the game for me or something.
Don't worry, the trolls from Australia are out there.
Too. Yeah.
Careful.
But yeah, Last of Us 2 is pretty scary. There are some parts that I'm like, where the fuck?
Yeah, like I was mentioning in my stream, like it's just this constant level of anxiety while I'm playing that game. And it's like, and I know it's like designed to make you feel that way. You're always supposed to feel unsafe. There could be an incident that happens at any moment. There could be like, infected just around the corner or something like that, or trip wires, trip mines, and it just man, like I just don't feel comfortable the whole time playing it. But I get it. It's like it's part of the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially during cutscenes, I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen in this cutscene? Like, if they're infected, is someone gonna die? Like, I don't know.
Man.
Yes, they will.
What part are you on right now, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh gosh. What recently happened? Oh, okay. Ellie and Dina.
Slight spoilers.
Sorry, what? Light spoilers? Oh, okay.
No,
I
yeah,
won't spoil
just to
anything.
warn people.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Well, Ellie and Dina made it to the radio tower. They're on the search for, or TV station or something like that. They're on the search for Tommy. Yeah.
Oh,
So there. Yeah.
got it. Okay, and it's snowing outside,
No
right?
snow yet, I don't think. No. Oh, sorry. No, I've passed the snow.
Oh.
I've passed the snow part, I think.
Okay, got it. And there's like a logbook in the tower, right, of people's like signing in and signing off.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I know what part you're on.
Ooh.
Got it. Yeah, it's creepy stuff, man. There's some creepy stuff in the next part. Just it's just dark. That's all. That's the only part that's creepy. Is it's dark.
I would say no spoilers, but it's kind of like expected. So
I mean,
Yeah,
I could tell you
no,
about
really.
that about any point of the game. Like it's creepy.
right,
like-
exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds
okay.
very exhausting as well sometimes,
Yeah, I think overall it's a very exhausting game mentally, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think DJB can attest to like how exhausting it already is. But yeah. So Matt, how about you? What are you playing? What horror games are you playing?
I mean, I don't think I'm really playing any horror games right now.
Oh my god, get out of this podcast.
All right. So what about can you name any of your favorite horror games that you've played in the past?
I don't know. I feel like I just kind of have go-to games that I usually play like at the end of
Hell
October.
yeah.
That I probably will
Hell
pick
yeah.
up, like sometime soon. But I usually kind of play them throughout November. I don't really start my October with like horror games, but I kind of like end it because it's like Halloween and stuff like that. But
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Like it sounds like super cliche, but like I tend to like replay like RE4 every year, like around this time, just because
It's not cliche
nice.
at all.
it's
a
a
good
really
game.
good game. Like I love I've played all the Resident Evil games and even like some of the bad spin-offs, but like, and as much as I like games like 3 or like 2 remake or like 7, like I constantly go back to 4 because I just feel like 4 is just a genuinely fun and good time. Like
How do you feel about the announcement that they're remaking 4?
I am cautiously
Can't wait.
optimistic. I can't wait, and my thing is like I feel like it's looking good because of how like they were handling 2 and 3. But at the same time, I'm also just like I feel like 4 is such a cult classic. Like they're gonna be those purists who are like, if anything isn't as good as the original, then they're just gonna default to the original because like.
Well, don't worry. The original is on
I
everything.
know. There's no shortage of being able to play the original RE4.
So Resident Evil 4 is the Final Fantasy 7 of that series.
I would like
I
to.
guess?
I'd like
Oh,
to think
yeah.
so. Well, okay, no,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
It depends.
I think so.
It depends
I think
on
so.
what generation you grew up with the Resident Evil games. Because like my cousins are the ones that
You
got
can
me.
say that about Final Fantasy
That's
too.
true. That's
Yeah.
That's
you're
still 100%
you're right,
true.
then. But like, yeah, there's the people who grew up with the original, like 1 through 3, and they think kind of the old style, kind of like basically like exploration, like explore rooms and puzzle solving, kind of like a fixed camera gameplay was like where
Tank
tank
controls.
controls where it was like at its
Sure.
peak because it was more actually survival horror, whereas like everything, well not everything, but like when you go from like 4 to like I don't know 6, it just kind of became like you're this OP character with hella bullets killing everything. Like,
Mm-hmm,
like-
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think that way of 4, but I understand why like 4's gameplay is super different from the original Resident Evil games because it's like it's more actiony. But I like
Yeah.
the first Resident Evil game I owned. Not I wouldn't say played because I played like the Dreamcast games, but I never owned them because I didn't own a Dreamcast. But like the first one I owned was Resident Evil 4, so it's just kind of nostalgic for me to like play that game because it's just like a genuinely like good game. But
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
but other than that, I play like because it's so easy to beat like in a single night. On Halloween night, I tend to replay like Luigi's Mansion, like the original Luigi's Mansion.
Nice.
Ooh,
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
I love playing because like as much as I played like the sequels, and there are things I like about the sequels that I think in even length, like those games are way longer. Whereas like Luigi's Mansion is like 3 or 4 hours. It's not even that long.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
something I genuinely miss, and this is something I criticize with Nintendo, like in general. I feel like Nintendo is super like moving towards like consistent brand identity, where everything has to look the same. It has to have the same characters, has to have the same Toads, Goombas, Koopas, and there's no like variety anymore. Like nothing can have like original characters or anything unique anymore. Everything has to be like what you expect the brand to look like, because it's like
Sure.
what we're comparing to like Universal or whatever. But like, anyways, back to like Luigi Mansion. I feel like Luigi's Mansion, the first game, is super atmospheric because it like genuinely feels like they tried to make a horror game while still keeping it like a Mario game. But
And now, do you play on the original hardware?
yeah, I
Or-
still play on like. Well, okay, I still own a GameCube, but I play it on the Wii because I can play it on like an HD TV or like a monitor today.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah, like,
That's
I still
cool.
have like the original hardware for those things. I still have like N64 and like Wii and like Super Nintendo, stuff like that. But yeah, what's a game that I also think is super like underrated, but it's actually a horror game that I actually go to in this month too, is have you guys ever heard of like the Siren series?
No.
Like it's
Wait, which one?
the series is called Siren, but I think one of the games that is probably more accessible than the others is Siren Blood Curse. It's a game I have on my
Okay, yeah.
PlayStation 3.
Ooh, this looks creepy.
And it's a game that I feel like it didn't really like get a lot of traction, but I still think is a really fun game. I like it because it has a really interesting concept. So like the Siren series is basically like the survival horror game where basically like people are dropped into this like village in Japan somewhere, and like one of the things that like there are basically like zombies in this world, but like what I like it okay, the story sounds cliche, but like the gameplay I think is really unique. So what happens to people in this village is if they are bitten by one of these zombies, they start to become it. But what makes the gameplay unique is like, okay, if you're bit, you have a certain amount of time before you have to complete some sort of task or ritual to prevent yourself from being a zombie. But by being bit, you have this ability that all of the zombies have, is the gameplay mechanic is called sight jacking. So basically, no, it sounds weird, but like, get your mind out of here.
No,
Excuse
that
me?
sounds awesome.
But like basically so you're in a survival horror game, and at any time I could switch my eyesight to be any of the enemies in the room that are on the map that are on right now. So like basically I could stand somewhere and then I could go into sight jacking mode, and then I could see from a first person's perspective what another zombie sees on the map. So it becomes kind of this kind of
cool.
like, it's survival horror, but it's also kind of like puzzle solving, because it's like, okay, how do I get from point A to point B, or how do I obtain certain items based on the limited information I have from looking from another person's perspective? Because like you can only see certain things, and it's a really interesting game because like you can't move when you're sight jacking, or you have limited movement. So like when you're sight jacking someone, you might be like, okay, I kind of know where this enemy is, but like as they get closer and closer to you, then you start to realize you start to see yourself because it's like closing in on you.
Oh,
Fascinating.
So
that's
so
scary.
it's like, yeah, you're like, it's like, yeah, an interesting take on like, I it's very similar, I guess, in concept to things like where like you have like security cameras, but like the security, it's attached to a living being that's trying to kill you. So, but
Which game is that part of? The first, second, or third one?
it's all
all
three
of
of the games. I think the game that was most
Okay,
accessible
that's
is
the
probably
mechanic.
the third one, which is Siren Blood Curse. That's the one I played and owned, but I don't know. I also like
Damn,
it because it's a
okay.
game that kind of makes you feel like helpless, because they have like weapons and stuff, like, but it's not like RE4 where like I could just unload bullets and then kill every zombie. It's like I have a gun and now I have like 3 shots, so I got to make them count. Like I'm not gonna kill every enemy, so I have to choose what battles I want to engage in.
Holy
Wow.
Right.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Cool, man. Ryan, how about you?
Well, this is kind of shameful, but there's this game that I bought a couple of years ago that every I guess October, I try to play, and it's called SOMA. I might have talked about it before, but it's
You
a
have.
game from Frictional Games, right?
Mhm.
And it's it's a horror. It takes place underwater. It reminds me of like, well, it tags my type of fear of drowning because it takes place underwater. So for a lot of games that are difficult for me to play, I always wait a couple of years because it seems like in my mind the graphics are not as good, and then I could accept that it's not real. So I've been slowly going through it. And basically, you wake up, you're pretty much kind of human. I don't want to really. It's very narrative focused, so I don't really want to give it away. But
Sure.
It takes place underwater. It's not necessarily horror, but it definitely has some intriguing things about like human consciousness and stuff like that. But every October I slowly get farther and farther. I'm about halfway through it. There's
It's funny.
Yeah.
Alexa played that game.
Yeah.
She actually finished it, surprisingly. I don't know why.
For her.
Yeah. So.
No, yeah. It's a good game. It's just hard for me because like, I used to be a lifeguard. I used to do the swim team, but like even after knowing all these skills and retaining these skills, like the fact of drowning or choking or anything having to do with my neck and swallowing water is so frightening to me that like this game and like BioShock, the first one, took me such a long time. In fact, sorry to sidetrack, but like BioShock 1, I didn't finish that till BioShock Infinite came out just because of the theme. I look at the saves. I bought it in 2007, right? And then 2013 comes around and I said, all right, fuck it. I'm going to finally finish BioShock. And I did right before BioShock Infinite released, however, so many years afterwards. But it's one of those games I want to get through just because it's one of those things that I feel is especially horrifying for me.
Interesting.
To die in the ocean, yeah.
So you have an underwater game fetish?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me pause.
Damn, now I know what you like,
king.
Boy.
Lots of liquid.
Okay.
How about that Echo the Dolphin, though?
Yeah, man.
That game is the shit.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that or Seaman.
on the Dreamcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So so I'm playing that, getting through that, and it's supposed to be a fairly shorter game, but it's taking me a while. And then the other thing, not really horror but Halloween theme, I'm playing Double Fine's Costume Quest.
Oh,
which came out in 2010. I totally forgot about it. There's also a sequel, but I didn't play any of them. And it's a nice palate cleanser, and it's basically like sort of a turn-based type style game, and it has a really nice story about these kids, and these kids have different costumes, and when you're in like action battle mode, you turn into this big old imaginative like giant versions of the costume, more realistic as they battle whatever you're trying to do while you're trick-or-treating, and God, so I'm basically switching between those two, and it's just it helps.
yeah, I can imagine. I also played through all of Costume Quest. I have to say it's a very enjoyable and easy game, but it's so fun, and I want to play the sequel. I need to look up how much the sequel costs because I know it's like dirt cheap.
I'm pretty sure it's cheap right now. I think there might be a sale. I know they always do sales around Halloween, of course, and then
yes.
And I saw the first Costume Quest actually has DLC, so that I want to get through that game and then just really enjoy myself. So I have a little scary, and then I have this Double Fine game which I could just roll back on and enjoy the whimsy while doing Halloween shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And now you know my kinks. So hey.
Hell yeah. Underwater? Got it.
Yeah.
Costumes underwater. Got it.
Not as uncommon as you think for fetishes.
Very, very unique. Very, very unique.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to go back to Resident Evil and Luigi's Mansion real quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Biohazard,
also
please.
for all the Japanese fans out there, Biohazard. I played I played almost all of the games, and I think it is one of my favorite horror genre series of all time. And I think I want to say 4 is probably also my favorite because to me, like you said earlier, DJB, it is like the Resident Evil 7 of
Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, sorry. The Final Fantasy 7.
What a
of the
mashup,
Resident
though,
Evil
right?
games.
What a mashup it would be.
Resident Fantasy 7.
Oh yeah, the remake.
And I like how you mentioned branding for Nintendo and Luigi's Mansion, Matt, because the first game just felt so iconic. It felt so unique, and when the second and third games. Yeah, and because it felt kind of like an open world or like an open map at least for the first game, and the second one I felt like they changed the ghosts like how they look too much because I missed how the old ghosts looked like the character design. I really liked that overall, and the atmosphere, the music especially was so unique, and it was so like you're playing Luigi's Mansion. It was a GameCube launch title, and that was literally the first game I got with my GameCube, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared when I was playing that game.
Heck yeah.
Me too.
It's kind of scary. The second, yeah, and then the second game is just too actiony. I think, in my opinion, like,
it's episodic.
Too much going on.
It's very cartoony. Like it's very, I don't know. It's just like,
yeah. And the third game tried to blend both worlds, but I don't. It didn't feel like the first one to me.
Yeah.
The first one is so memorable. It's one of my favorite GameCube games of all time, and I occasionally pull out my GameCube and play that game because it's just one of those like classic GameCube titles that I think everyone should have on their GameCube, or if you have a Wii with a GameCube compatibility, then get it because it's one of those like essential.
Is it not on the Virtual Shop? Really?
There's no GameCube games on the Switch except for the Mario Sunshine 3DS
the
port.
pack. Yeah.
It's not 3DS. It's like
the
anniversary.
Ah, really?
3D All Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
But
except like aside is I really have huge issues with all those ports.
Yep. Me too. I don't even have a game.
It's a collection of good games, but not a good collection of games.
Yeah.
But
it's like yeah. Go on.
No, you go on, and then I'll go on.
I was gonna say like there was like a porting issue, right? Is the biggest thing, like how the games play on the Switch.
Yeah.
Right, Matt.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like well, with 64, it's like the Japanese version, which takes out a lot of the things people love about the original North American and PAL versions.
Hell yeah.
And like,
fuck yeah, USA.
they changed it. It feels like they were trying to do that from like a purist perspective, like, oh, they want the games to play how they were intended. But then they took games like Sunshine and Galaxy, which originally had inverted controls, and anyone who's played them with nostalgia or played it for years or speedrun them, like their muscle memory is for inverted because there's only inverted. And they decided when they ported it, they wanted to flip inverted camera to regular.
Oh God!
And they gave you no option to change it back.
Oh, that's
They go
horrible.
Oh,
back.
fuck,
And you
are
can't
you
even
serious?
like the
So
Switch
there's no-
prides itself like, oh, you can go into system settings and you can change controls to whatever you want. They don't let you change the camera even in system settings. So it's just like
Holy
anyone
shit.
who played the game
Oh.
before can't really play this game comfortably because it's like
So-
a major
wow.
control is like not the way that they. But other than that,
Sure.
because these are like people thought that they would port these games like they're actually just emulated. Like they basically created like an emulator and they're playing a ROM of the game and the ROM it's not even
Oh my
playing it
God.
perfectly. So a lot of people just like go
Ooh.
play it on console or on the original hardware because it's like you're not even playing it how it's intended even in that sense. So yeah,
God.
they're kind of bad ports, but that's a separate thing.
Because you would expect quality of life
You would
features.
think because they
Sounds like
own
they're doing the
like the
opposite.
source code and everything,
Yeah.
they could just port it perfectly, but they don't.
Yeah, just make it a bit more cleaner, and then wow,
It sounds like it was rushed.
yeah. I mean, they might have given it to a different
developer. I know they have like third party companies that help them with like certain stuff.
I think they did it in house and they just rushed
Oh,
it.
even
Well,
worse.
isn't it funny though that like even PlayStation is dealing with having trouble emulating their old games as well?
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, the PS5 should be able to emulate PS3. It's powerful enough, boys.
Yeah, even PS2.
And they have the they have the documentation to make it perfect emulation. But yeah, they have the the PS2 to PS4 original games.
Yeah.
Why don't they just open it up a bit more?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's free money. It's free money.
This is how I feel. Like this is not just a Nintendo thing. Like I feel this way about like Sony and Xbox.
Oh,
I want to play old games. I would pay to buy old games, but there's no way to buy old games anymore unless you have the old hardware, which some of them are dying.
Right.
Yes. My original Xbox is dead because there's a little thing that kind of explodes if you don't take it off in time, and mine did. So it's like that's hardware I can't use anymore.
Explodes? What?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
wait, elaborate. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, no, it doesn't explode, but it kind of leaks out. It's one of the external, like I guess, batteries. Just like in a Game Boy cartridge or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But one of the problems for holding onto an Xbox is you gotta snip that off and take it off in time, or it'll just leak onto everything, and then you won't be able to even use the Xbox anymore. So I have a broken Xbox, but I have all these Xbox games.
I love that you use the Game Boy analogy because that I did that before. Like, if you owned an old Game Boy game, your save has a finite life. So when that battery dies, your save dies. So like if you want to keep playing your Game Boy game, you have to open it, take out the battery, and replace the battery. But you have to play a new file now because it's like
yeah.
But,
my red save is forever gone. God damn it.
but
yeah. Okay, but speaking of slightly shitty sequels, what do you guys think of Resident Evil 5 and 6? I mean, they're really fun if you have a co-op partner.
Yeah, I love this question.
But like, they're not really Resident Evil.
5 is like, to me, it's not as good as 4, but 5 is hella fun if you have a friend.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is co-op. If you don't have a friend, don't bother playing it, to me, in my opinion.
# bring back Shiva.
Because it's a worse 4. But if you have a friend, it's hella fun. Because I had memories, like, I used to play it with, like, 2 of my friends from grade / high school. Mm-hmm. And we would, like, play it for hours, just, like, going through the campaign. But, like, also trying to either, like, help or screw each other up. So,
especially with items.
Yeah, it's funny because like everything's like in real time. Like in RE4, when you paused and took out a weapon, it was like it was still playing, or it paused. But like when you play 5, like when you use your inventory,
it wasn't
all in real time. So.
I remember because like if you go too far from your partner, it activates shit. Like extras the zombies that come out. So like if they're soft or something, you're like, better hurry up.
5, I would say play 5 single player is still better than 6. I hate 6. It's so unnecessarily complicated and convoluted. And
it's long and janky. The storyline
is really stupid.
It's bloated. It's very bloated.
The characters are really stupid.
Yeah. What? You don't like Wesker's son?
I don't like Wesker's son.
Come on.
Why did we bring back Sherry? Why did we make a lot of people feel uncomfortable about Sherry? Why?
Oh yeah.
This is how I think about those games. Resident Evil 1 is like the first Fast and Furious movie. You're like, okay, I'm in it.
It's grounded.
I want the fucking street culture. Everyone's driving fucking Japanese tuner cars. Let's go,
baby.
Resident Evil 4. Exactly. Resident Evil 4 is like Fast 5. You're like, okay, this series is going in a new direction. There's going to be a lot of action, and I'm okay with it. A bit more. Yeah. Resident Evil 5 is like Fast and Furious 6 and 7. Yeah. You're like, okay, this series is a little bit more actiony. It still has some of its grounded roots, and that's fine. But hopefully, we'll see what happens next. Resident Evil, and like we have high hopes. Resident Evil 6 is like Hobbs and Shaw. Fate. You're like, what the fuck is this movie? Why am I watching it? There's way too much action. The acting is terrible, but the cast is stacked. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, they're basically superheroes, and I'm like, this is just a horror game with superheroes as the main characters, and you're playing them. Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, it started emulating more of the movies, and like in terms of like
yeah. they were like trying to cater to that Western audience because Capcom was like, hey, this game is so popular in the West. We want to make it more actiony, and the Western audience is like, wait, what about the horror? They're like, what? We can't hear you over the millions of dollars that we have.
It's so funny to me because that's how people felt about 4 when it first came out. They're like, oh, it's way too actionally, but like if you play it, you realize that like a lot of the gameplay decisions were still to make it feel like horror, like the ability not to move when you're shooting, or not being able to quickly turn behind you when things are happening. But like, it's still like 6 though. Like 6 just feels like it's playing like a really like Gears of War, but like a bad like knockoff of Gears of War.
Yeah. And Gears of War is so smooth compared to Resident Evil 6. My God.
I feel like it has no kind of strong suit or any sort of footing in what it wanted to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense how they split up the different storylines. You know, here's your more horror one, here's more your action, but it was just all mediocre all around. You know. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to bitch about 5 and 6 a bit more. Thank you.
So to round out the whole gaming thing, DJB, what are your favorite horror games?
Oh, of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
I think probably the first horror game I ever actually played was Silent Hill.
How did we not even talk about that yet? That's also up there.
Good choice.
Good choice. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's also like one of the first games I ever played that was very like it uses a slow pacing to enhance the narrative. You know, this is the PS1 era, and I know that a lot of it was
all the fog.
Yeah, the fog that and just like the long intervals in between actual fighting, you know, all the puzzle solving in these like dark, creepy, gross looking areas. You know, it would take hours sometimes, but that was part of like the suspense, and so I think that was probably like my first experience, like not just with a horror game, but like with a horror game that uses like the technology of the time to sort of enhance the horror itself. You know, even the slow way like the characters would talk, you know, like it's like some of the lines are iconic now, like radio. What's going on with that radio? Cheryl?
Yeah.
Is that Cheryl? You know? So
the dubbing was so good. It was so great.
Yeah, man. So Silent Hill was probably one of my all-time favorite scary games. Yeah, I gotta say, speaking of VR earlier, Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to play it. It's a PSVR exclusive.
No, I saw it.
Unfortunately.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Video. I saw the video. It looks
but it's basically a horror roller coaster ride with guns, and you're shooting these deranged clowns that are running at you nonstop. It's freaky.
Yeah.
And what's funny is if you're playing it on VR, right? Like when you go down a hill, you almost feel it in your stomach. It's like the simulation feeling, like actually gives you that feeling of like a dip in a roller coaster and all that stuff. So that's a great game that I'd recommend if you have access to it, but not a lot of people have PSVR.
Sure.
Yeah.
Other than that, like legit, like the scariest feelings I've ever gotten from a game is queuing for a competitive match in Overwatch. Solo queue.
Damn. Meta. Yeah.
That's the scariest shit in my life, man. Whenever I play a game, I'm like, I queue for a solo match in ranked Overwatch. You never know, man. You could get trolls that just tank your SR. It's horrible.
That's how I feel about playing solo killer. Well, obviously the killer's solo, but like as a killer in Dead by Daylight.
Number three, boys.
Ryan.
I'm surprised it's not higher by this point.
Yeah, I know.
In comparison, though, like Overwatch is to me as like probably what Dead by Daylight is to Jeremy.
I mean,
So you
I
guys
know the
know
feeling.
this.
Melee. I've been playing Melee since 2001, talking
Yeah,
about
sure.
GameCube games.
Oh,
God
but
damn.
I don't like playing Overwatch anymore. I don't play it anymore. But it still is on my mind.
I go through periods where I play it and periods where I don't want to even touch it. So it's just,
Yeah.
but I know I can go back to it and still like enjoy the
Right.
game. I imagine if you played, like, you would still enjoy it. But
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also just so many salty people in these games that we're just
That's true,
talking
that's
about.
true.
Too.
yeah, there's also a lot of salt in
Of course.
Ryan's fetishes too.
Hey.
Oh, damn. You brought it back.
God damn it.
Oh, wow.
How do I log off of this? Ah, shit.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's go into the next segment, which I want to talk about and ask you guys if you've ever had any spooky experiences in person, or any like thing creepy that happened to you, or maybe secondhand that you heard from a friend that creeped you out. So to start it off, I have two stories.
Hell yeah.
So the first one is, some years ago when my grandmother passed away. She passed away in the house that she lived in with my grandfather, and there's always this corner that she sat in all the time, and she liked to just like sit there and knit and watch TV or read the newspaper. And when she passed away, her hospice bed was there, and the next day after they moved her out and we were preparing for the funeral, the light that was next to her chair started to just like flicker on and off, and we were like, "Is that you? Like, Grandma, is that you?" And then it would flicker like a little bit, and then be like, "Oh, we're gonna go see you. Like, you're still here," like stuff like that, you know.
Oh,
And
shit.
the crazy part was the lamp wasn't even plugged in the whole time, and it was still
Jeez.
flickering. So from then on, I was like, okay, I believe.
How old were you?
I was like in high school. I was a junior, so I was like 17.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
I took a day off from school to go to my grandmother's funeral.
Of course.
Yeah, and yeah, I just from that point on I believed in spirits and stuff like that, because it was just I don't know, like I just couldn't explain it, you know. That's just one of those things where you think about it, read about it so much on TV, and when you finally see it in person, you're like, all right, I guess I'm a believer. You know.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I want to tell my second story, but I want everyone to also say something if they have something about themselves.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to start.
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a little background. So I mentioned this before, but my mom and we watch a lot of like ghost hunters-esque shows. Now, you know, most of the time it just seems kind of very overproduced, blah blah blah. But I enjoy it for what it is. You know, it's just good, you know, popcorn media just to watch while you're doing other things. You know, but we installed cameras in my grandma's house because she generally lives with us now, and with my mom and all that. So, well, actually, I installed all the cameras because first off, there was no Wi-Fi, no internet or anything. Anyway, I got all set up and everything, you know. They're these nice little cheap $20 Wise cameras all around inside the house. Now, it's motion activated, it has night vision, it has all sorts of things. So, one day, my mom said, hey, take a look at this clip. And she showed me downstairs in the basement area. It was one of our cameras that we set up, and you could see some visible glowing orbs, and it would just go left to right really quickly. Now the crazy thing is you could see dust and all sorts of other things in the camera itself, so you could sort of see that this whatever this two orbs were like totally different than the other stuff that the night vision could capture. And that, like, what the fuck, that freaked me out for a bit, you know. And I'm like, okay. And that's only one clip. And then the next week she shows me another clip, same thing, except this time the orbs is coming like down the stairs, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just recent. It's hard for me to think of any old. I mean, I have a couple older stuff, but like for the most recent thing, it's just checking out my grandma's house when no one's there or supposed to be there. Because like we get recordings of audio, we get recordings of things like light activated things turning on, and it's just like, okay, y'all could chill, right? We're my grandma goes there occasionally, because my mom takes her, but like it's just funny to know that like, hey, this house that you grew up in, basically when your parents weren't here, during the summer and whatnot, that house is just still active in a different manner, Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's just further confirmation, at least for me, like, hey, there's stuff I still don't know about this world, and it's always great, like, hey, especially right now during Halloween, let's open up some portals, let's explore a little. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so maybe later I could drop in some video links or something, because it's all recorded, and my mom keeps a track of all those things, which is cool. So I might be able to put it on Discord. I'll see.
Yeah, I want to see it. That sounds interesting. And
Yeah.
I'm also a believer in ghost orbs, because we would take photos of where my grandma used to sit, and there would just be orbs around there. And
Oh,
I'm
wow,
like,
yeah.
like, they're like, it's the lens. I'm like, no, it's not the lens. There's nothing wrong with this camera.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just cool to see.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I want to see like footage of that, because it sounds. It doesn't sound creepy. It just sounds like.
No, it's not creepy. It's just cool to see something get captured.
It's otherworldly.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm sort of like X-Files. The motto, I want to believe. I want to believe something is a bit more crazier about this world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it.
Cool, man.
Mhm.
All right. Did you go ahead?
I have a story that's kind of similar to Jeremy's, where like, I don't know why. I guess all of our stories have to do with grandmas, but mine also does too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
What do you call it? So when my Lola passed away, we were all kind of at her house, and because we knew she was going to pass soon, so my
Mhm.
family kind of all gathered there, and we were all kind of just there to support her when she was going to pass.
Of course.
And eventually she does, and we grieve, and we kind of support each other as a family. But like, I remember distinctly that like one of my cousins was like freaking out, because we were all like kind of like kids and kind of dealing with our mortality, fun stuff that children get to deal with.
Right.
When
Yeah.
and one of my cousins is just like
Sure.
freaking
Let's
out
learn about
because she
that.
was just like, oh, like she's like that. No, I like, because I guess some of my titos and titas or uncles and aunties were like, they were like joking around at the idea, like, oh, like you better like watch out tonight, because she might try to visit you in your sleep. And then one of my cousins was like, she was freaking out because they told her that, and she was
Yeah.
really kind of like bawling and like really having kind of this anxiety attack, where she was just like no, like I really don't want you to visit me tonight, grandma. I really don't. And then she was like backing up into her chair, and then like as she's saying that, like I don't know, like parts of her chair just kind of like blew out, and then the chair falls to the ground, and she starts like, and then she falls to the ground, and then she's just like,
God.
okay, I'm sorry, you can go visit, just don't
Oh
do
my
anything
God.
like that again.
Holy
I bet your
shit.
grandma was laughing because it wasn't even her.
That was just kind of this weird kind of story, which is like, oh snap, like without fail, like something just happened as she was saying it.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did she sleep well? I hope.
I don't believe she did.
I
I
would
remember
hit all
distinctly,
night.
like in spite of everything that I witnessed and everything like I was dealing with in terms of learning what it's like for people to die, I slept soundly for kid during that time.
Yeah, you're just like, that didn't happen to me. I'm all good.
I think I went upstairs and everyone was like too freaked out to sleep in her room after I fell asleep there, which is funny. But
Way to go, Matt.
Maybe I was just too ignorant to realize what was happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. DJB?
So what comes to mind?
No worries. We're in a safe space.
No, yeah, sure. No. What comes to mind really when I think about like a scary paranormal experience that I may or may not have had. It, so okay, a little bit different. Maybe about 4 years ago, I was assisting in a kids summer program that my church usually does, and basically it's for young kids over the summer, and so a lot of us like volunteer and help out and stuff like that. Teach some classes. I was teaching like music or something like that. Just some anyway. So there's this girl. She's about 5 years old. There's about 30 kids, and so we're at it takes place on the church grounds, and there's this girl that she's about 5 years old, and she was one of the kids doing the program, and so they're playing, and I'm in a dark room. I'm like editing a video, I think it is, and I'm in this dark room, and there's this hallway right outside the room, and the lights are off because the kids are out playing outside and stuff. But sometimes they'd come in the hallway and stuff and play, and just to give some backstory, like there was some people that had some concerns about this girl for whatever reason. I didn't really know at the time what were the concerns, but I think because a lot of these kids, including this girl, were part of the underserved population. They would regularly meet with case managers. So that's where a lot of the concerns came about. But anyway, so like I said, I'm in this room and I'm editing, and so I hear the kids walk into the hallway. It's like a couple girls, including this young girl, and I guess they're playing with their toys or something like that, and they're I just hear them talking a little bit here and there, and then faintly I start to hear this deep guttural groan, like
what
that,
the
right?
fuck?
Oh shit!
Not otherworldly or anything. It did sound kind of
animal?
like a voice of like somebody, like a person trying to make that noise, right? And so I don't pay attention to it, and then I hear it again. Like it starts to get a little louder.
Oh shit!
And so one of the girls starts speaking up. It's like, what is that? What is that? And like I don't know, and I don't pay attention to it still. I think I figure it's just the kids playing around, and then I hear it again, and then I hear that voice go like, "Get out of here!"
What?
And then
Holy shit.
and then again, one of the girls goes like, "What? Who's saying that? Who's saying that?" And the other girl, she's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And then I hear it like start to get louder, like, "Get out of here," like that guttural noise, that voice, and then one of the girls just starts shouting like, "Stop that! Stop that!" She turns to the girl because she thinks it's the girl, and she's like, "Stop that! Stop that!" And the girl's like, "It's not me! It's not me!" And then they start arguing, and then this time I'm like paying attention, like much more. And they're arguing, and then she's like, "No, I know it's you. I hear you saying it." And then the girl says, "It's not me. It's them."
Oh,
and there's nobody else there. I look outside.
Oh shit! What a twist!
Yeah, but see, the thing that creeps me out about it is that this girl's 5 years old. Like, there's no way. I can understand if this is like a
Of
prank
course.
done by like some teen girl or
Yeah.
something like that. But this girl's 5 years old who has no sense of like the kind of prank that
That
she
type
would
of
be
preconceived
making.
notion that
Mm-hmm.
I could get away with this.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
and and so throwing it into the context of like that it was in a church or something, some might say if there was some sort of like possession type thing
Uh-huh.
going on. I don't know if you guys or anybody believes in that, but for the for anyone who may be agnostic on the idea, like um the just the idea that like
Oh,
perhaps
I'm
Same.
open to it. Yeah.
a possessive spirit
Yeah.
would not want to be in that
Yeah,
area or
exactly.
something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Especially if you're
boring to
attached.
think that I don't know weird shit can't happen. So
Yeah, I want weird shit to happen.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, I keep an open mind is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Damn.
Just like Portland, keep it weird, baby.
just like Jacksonville.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, Daniel. Man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wow. Okay. Wow.
Here's a more lighthearted one. And okay, I was very young. No, I was a teen, 15. One time, and I swear to you, I was not high. I was not
Okay.
high. Okay.
Go on.
Was I supposed to
I like
assume
that you
that?
need a
Yes.
disclaimer.
Yeah. I didn't think
Okay.
about that until you said it.
So this is just a very small, silly story. I was like near the kitchen, prepping stuff, and I started leaving after at the kitchen, and then I heard something drop, and I saw on the ground was the sponge that we use to wash things, but it landed on the ground, and the crazy thing, it would have to have leapt up away from the big kitchen sink that I have and moved all the way down to the floor, and it's one of the weirdest things I could never explain because dude, I don't know, man. I'm not sure it's paranormal, and I swear to you, I was not high. But
My thing is, I wouldn't have assumed until you
This-
said the first thing.
oh, I
Now I
know.
am.
Oh, I know. But it was this bright orange sponge, and I could hear it move up and down and hit the floor, and it freaked me out for like half a day. Like, what the fuck just happened? I
Yeah.
wasn't even near it. I didn't even touch it because I was fixing food on the stove, and I was like, I've never had this experience in my own house before. What the fuck's going on? And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna ignore that because that's the weirdest thing that ever happened. Okay, goodbye.
You just dipped.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird things that I can't explain. It's like, huh. I'm not sure if it's paranormal or not, but it's weird enough to like remember.
Right.
Yeah. Not
Damn.
high.
It could be one of those quote unquote glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're all just hologram anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right?
That's right.
So, the other story I wanted to share, DJB
Yes, please.
actually already knows this story, but for Matt and Ryan, I had
We
a
might
buddy
know the story.
Yeah, I have a buddy who studied abroad in Japan, and
Oh shit.
one of his friends wanted to visit Aokigahara. Do you guys know where that is? It's the suicide forest.
Suicide Force? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's at the-
crazy.
It's at the base of Mount Fuji. And
it really? I didn't know
yeah.
that.
And my friend's friend was like, "Yo, I want to go there." My buddy was like, "No, dude, I'm not about to go there with you." And he's like, "Well, if you don't come with me, I'm going to go there by myself." And my buddy was like,
bad.
"All right, I'm going to go." So they took a bus several
Sounds like
hours.
some Fatal Frame shit,
Well, okay, we're going to get there. So they go
Oh
there, right?
shit.
They get there. It's like 12 p.m. and there's a sign at the front of the park that says like, "Welcome to Aokigahara Forest. If you are experiencing an event, please call this number.
Yeah.
Remember that your family loves you. Remember that your friends care about you. Just, words of encouragement before you go in."
Right.
And
Of
so
course.
my buddy's like looking at the dude, his friend. He's like, "I don't know, this is kind of weird, man." And the friend's like, "Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. We're just gonna do some exploring, and we're gonna come right back." So there's like a park ranger station. They meet like two of the rangers, and they're like, "Yeah, just go in. There's nothing. You just don't go off the path, and you'll be fine. Like as long as you stay on the path, like just everything else will be fine." So they go into the forest. So something about the forest is it's dark in there because there's a lot of trees that cover the light from the top, and a lot of the trees like
It's that type of tree that really covers.
yeah, they cross
Yeah.
each other when they grow out from the top, so it kind of blocks the sun.
Kind
So
of
they're walking in.
intermingles.
Yeah. And in Japan, the sun sets a lot sooner than it does because of where it's positioned on the Earth. So like 4 or 5, depending on which season it is, it'll set at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So they're walking into the forest. It's getting darker, and they're staying on the path, and they see this yellow string that goes deep into the forest.
Oh no.
And my buddy's like, "Oh damn, like are we gonna follow this?" And his friend's like, "Yeah, dude, let's follow it. Let's go in." So they follow the string, and then they see this campsite, and they're digging through the tent. The friend is like digging through the tent, and he's like, "Dude, like don't touch anything. Like stop touching all that." And he's like, no, like there's no one here. It's okay if we like look around at things. And he's like, "Yeah, but like what? They could still be here. You know what I mean? Like their presence could still be here." So the friend is like, "Oh no, it's fine." And then my buddy finds a little like T-Rex, like a little plastic T-Rex in this like little capsule thing. And he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna like pocket this because I think it's like, really
no.
cool and interesting." So
No.
then the friend's like, yeah, like the friend was gonna take other stuff. There's like a children's book. There was like a cell phone like that had no battery. There's like a bunch of other stuff, and yeah, they found that T-Rex. My friend pocketed it, so they keep going in, and then they find this tree, and there's like there's like a cross on the tree, like made out of like straw or like leaves and stuff, and there's like a circle of rocks, and there's like a little doll hanging from the tree as well, like a little like straw doll. And then my buddy's like, "All right, I'm done. Like we gotta go back. we gotta go back now. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like I think we've seen everything. Let's start going back."
Wise choice.
Right? And so the friend's like, "Oh, okay, but I still want to look around." And he's like,
No,
"Well,
fuck that.
we're leaving."
Yeah.
So they start going back, right? And it's like 3 p.m., almost 4, and the sun starts going down. It's getting a lot darker, and they get scared because they hear some noises. So they start running a little bit, and my friend trips on his right foot, like it gets caught somewhere, and he falls down. He's like, "Oh fuck!" Like he's not too bruised up, and he's not worried about that. And then they run out into the park station, and they're like, "Ooh!" Like they're all like, they're so like they're feeling relieved that they don't have to be back in the forest anymore. So they go to the park station, and then my friend pulls out the little T-Rex toy, and he notices there's something wrong with the T-Rex toy. The right leg of the T-Rex toy is broken off. The same leg that he tripped on when he was running out. And so he's like, "Oh my god, like this is like a charm that got used up." Like in his mind, he was like telling his friend, like, "Dude, like this is like a little charm that like protected me, like it helped me get through the forest." And the friend was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" And they go to the park rangers, like look at this, like, and he's like telling them the whole story. And they're like, "Ha, that's a great story. Like, now put that in the lost and found."
Oh no.
And they're like, "Yeah, whatever, dude." And and my buddy was still freaked out to this day, and I believe everything that he said, because when he told me it, his eyes were like scared, like he was like scared telling me this story.
He was back at it.
Yeah, I'm like, "Bro, you're in the U.S., like it's fine." But he's like, "Bro, I'm
Take
still..."
a deep breath.
Yeah. So I'll never forget that story to this day. Like it's insane. And I also met his friend that he went with, and he said the same thing. So I was like, "Fuck, dude, you guys are crazy. I'd never go there."
I want to go there. maybe not be crazy and dumb like that.
Not take
but,
shit
like,
from
you
it.
know. Yeah, I would.
Imagine randonauting there.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah, okay, so that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. DJ Bay, I know you've talked about this a million times, but I love hearing it because I was there for your stream when it happened, and I love just hearing your passion about how crazy this is. In a way, I live vicariously through you, and I even mentioned it in one of your streams, like, go
Hell yeah.
randonauting in Japan. So for the people that don't know, and I know you kind of explained it in the last podcast, but there's people that are tuning in now, please explain what randonauting is and about your experience.
Well, I learned about it. It's an app that came out earlier this year, and I learned about it because there's all these. Wifey and I, we like to watch like these videos about paranormal things caught on camera, or just stories of the paranormal.
Hell yeah.
And randonauting was made popular through TikTok, I believe. People would like just show clips of their experience randonauting.
Shout out
and
to the
so-
Zoomers.
Yeah. But so the app is basically you put in like you choose between whether you want to find an anomaly, an attractor, a void. I don't really know like what all that terminology means. I feel like it's just somewhat arbitrary, but then you tell it, and here's the key part. You think of an intention. You don't even have to tell the app. You don't type it in or anything. It just tells you to think of an intention or say an intention that you have. And then the app will send your phone a location, and it'll connect to your GPS, and your GPS will pinpoint that location. And supposedly when you get there, you will find, or you may find, your intention. So the reason why, like, it sounds innocent enough, right? But the reason why, like, it's creepy as hell is because there have been stories of people putting in some dark intentions and finding some really messed up shit. And the most famous one is these kids in Seattle start randonauting. It takes them to the shore of this remote part of the water or whatever, and they find a suitcase that smells terribly. They open it with a stick, and like the smell just gets worse. They call the police. The police are able to determine that it's the remains of 2 dead bodies, like, that were cut up, so murdered. And this made the news and everything. Like, it's proven fact that these kids used the Randonautica app, took them directly to that point, and that point they found a dead body. 2 dead bodies. That's on still an ongoing investigation right now. And
Good
other
marketing.
people.
Good marketing.
Yeah,
for
the people
app,
behind
huh?
the app, like,
Yeah, they're like, ooh.
So
sweet,
Ryan's
right?
working theory is that they murdered someone so that they could get trending to promote their app. Gotcha.
Yeah. For the TikTok generation.
yeah, sure.
Man.
But
So
people
crazy.
have been, there's been videos of people, like a girl went to a forest and found like these messed up drawings done by a child, a journal that said like, "Why did my brother leave me?" And has the word, like, the name Satan written multiple times in it. And then as she's like flipping pages through the journal, like, she hears a voice saying, "If you don't leave, you'll die." And like, and
Oh,
people who watch the TikTok video actually have been able to point out possibly that they see the image of a child peeking around a corner in the background. Obviously there's always room for skepticism. But
Of course.
yeah, so on my stream last week, my wife and I decided to try randonauting for the first time ourselves, and so we did like an outdoor stream with our phones, and we did it in real time. We used the app. We picked some intentions, and then we just drove out to wherever the app told us to go, and to kind of give it like some spooky context, we did it in the Blue Rock Springs Lake Herman Road area, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with the area. But for people that may not be familiar with like the history of that area, that was famously where the Zodiac killer's first reported murders occurred. On Lake Herman Road first, and then Blue Rock Springs a month later, or something like that, or maybe it was a year later. I forget. But yeah, so growing up, I was always told like to avoid that area. Don't go that way if you don't have to, and especially don't.
Ooh, I have a story where I will agree with that statement now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep, same. I was told that too.
Yeah,
I was told
don't
those
drive
exact
there.
things.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's possible that there's just some messed up like shit, like bad juju. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Thinking the same.
Yeah. So we put in our intention, and the specific point that freaked us out the most was so my wife, she picked the intention completely off the top of her head, and she said cold. I think it was because it was a hot day. We were out, and like it's really dry in that area, and so we were sweating a bit. So we just wanted to see if we could find something cold. So that was the intention. We drove to some random spot in the middle of Lake Herman Road, right along Lake Herman Road. I got out of the car. I like go up this hill, and this takes about like 20 minutes total from the time we used the app, told the intention, and then got to the point. I look around. I find this sign after like climbing up this short hill and like getting all these thorns in my socks and everything. And I find this sign, and it says like, dangerous cliffs, deep water. And so I'm like, all right, I guess, this is getting kind of scary, or just like, I don't want to like fall off a cliff or something if I keep going. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go to my next point. So I kind of gave up. And then as I'm walking down the hill, I stumble across this ditch, and in this ditch, there's this small bag.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Ugh. And so like everyone in my chat is saying like, no, leave that shit alone. Don't mess with it. With the whole context of randonauting and everything, they're like, maybe there's like a human hand in there or some shit.
Yeah.
So I pick it up with a stick. I don't touch it.
Oh, good.
I pick it up with a stick and I drag it down the hill so that wifey and I can inspect it.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
So watching you drag it. I was like, what the hell, dude?
And like just and it was covered with like dead weeds and like it was like almost pretty much stuck to the ground at that point. It'd probably been there for years. But I drag it down to the bottom of the hill, and we're looking at it, and it's a old like lunch like polyester lunch bag or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I kick it. It's empty, unfortunately, but it's full of like gross like plants and some random black stuff. And then I turn it over, and literally it says like frozen cold to the core on the front of it. And so it just the coincidence. I know it's not paranormal or anything, but just the coincidence, like that. In the middle of nowhere, basically, this little bag would have the word cold, literally, like the word cold on it, when that was our intention. On the specific point that the app sent me to. There's no way, like, there's no way that, like, to explain that.
Yeah.
So it's freaky because like there's a lot of skeptics towards the app. I'm sure there's a lot of fakes of people saying they're randonauting, but they like try to fake some paranormal activity. But I promise you that was 100% real. You can go back and see it in real time. So
yep.
And tell me, how much did the app sponsor you when you streamed?
What promo code do we use?
That fat paycheck.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy to me because you reminded me because like I have a story from like Herman Road and it's pretty easy to quick to get through. But like so I was driving home or not driving home. Sorry, I was driving to Benicia because I was doing kind of like this like church youth thing, and they were doing like some sort of like they were having kids sleep at one of my friend's house. Like all the boys would sleep at one of my friend's house and all the girls would sleep at another house in Benicia. But so we were leaving like the center that we were at, and we were heading towards Benicia, and it was late and we had needed to be back by like a certain time. So like most kids like around like 12 to 13 years old, instead of going right to the drop-off point, we decide, okay, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get some boba, and then we're gonna go meet right back. So I'm just okay, so I'm the one driving this car, by the way. So I'm just like, okay, so in order for us to be there on time, we're gonna go get some boba, and then we're gonna take Lake Herman Road home because that's the quickest way back to Benicia. So I was like, okay. So we pick up some boba, and then we're driving on the Herman Road, and we're just driving, and we're just like, we got the conversation like without fail, like went to the subject of like you always hear it's like weird things happen on like Herman Road because it's like exactly what DJB was talking about is just kind of like the history of stuff going on right there. We're just like, yeah, but like we were like basically like saying like like yeah, we hear all these stories, but that's probably BS anyway. So I was like, whatever. And then as we were driving, right, we drive by one of those like beware of cliff signs, and we're just like, okay, well, we just kind of like got to reduce the speed. It was like around maybe like 1 a.m, so there was like it was dark, like pitch black, but like so we had the high beams on and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And as we were passing like by that sign, like we didn't see where this could have came from, but like we saw like on the side of a hill, like we see some headlights turn on, and we're just like, oh shit, like well, there's a car like in the middle of like nowhere. Like there wasn't like a house it could have been at, or like for someone, but there was this truck that like turned on and it started like revving up its engine, and we're just like, okay, well, we're just gonna like keep going. Maybe they were just kind of like chilling, maybe they had car trouble. And then the car gets off the hill and starts driving onto the road, and so like this car is like tailgating me, so it's just like I kind of like motion to the car to be like, okay, like passes up, like when I ain't trying to like do like I ain't trying to like speed up during these roads because it's just like I want to be careful, especially when I'm driving people who are younger than me.
Yeah.
And then so like I motion for the car to go over, but like the car continues to like tailgate me, and it keeps like tailgating me, like, and I'm just like getting nervous because I'm like, okay, like what's wrong with this car? Like why isn't it like trying to pass me up? And then we hear like the car start to like honk its horn at us, and we're just like, okay, like what the hell? Like I'm motioning for you to go. So like I pull off to the side for a minute, and then the car is like, as I'm trying to pull off, the car speeds up, but it starts to weave to the shoulder where I did. So I'm like, oh shit. So I start the engine again.
Shit, no,
and I start. So then now I'm like speeding because I'm like, oh shit, this car's not trying to pass me. This car's trying to catch up to me. So like I keep trying to speed of my car, and then the kids in the back like are keeping on the car, and they're just like, the car is trying to catch up, like speed up the car. So I speed up, it speed up, I speed up, it speeds up. So we keep driving, and we finally like get to the turn off point to getting over to Benicia, and then I'm trying to lose this car. So I'm just like, I know I have to go this way, so I drift into the turn point towards going, and then we drive, and we're just like, okay, if this car keeps following us, at least we're driving towards an area that can be seen, like the street lights now, and they're like cars. And then the kids like never like took their eyes off the back, and they're just like, what the hell, because that car was literally like feet behind us. We should have seen it pass by now. And so we stop for a second, and we kind of like wait to see if the car comes. We did not see the car come back. So I drive back in the other direction, and then we don't see a car anymore. And so we're just like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But yeah.
Damn.
Holy shit. We wanted you to join the family.
So yeah. To this day, we have no idea what that was.
Holy shit.
Ryan, why were you following him that night?
Well, it's
The hell,
easy when
man?
you have his GPS location,
Find my iPhone.
Ron was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, why didn't you get me boba?
Man,
Yeah, where's my boba? He's like honking.
yeah. Hey. But that's crazy, because I know that corner. Luckily, that corner has enough space to drift, that turn. Yeah, but boy, howdy. I never heard that story before, Matt.
Yeah, it's my first time hearing it too. That's so freaky.
So now, if I ever take that, I never take it at night. Fuck going there at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I ever take it at night, I'm never slowing down. I'm just gonna go, fuck it, this. Fuck.
60 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm Tokyo drifting this bitch.
No, we all just go
Oh,
together.
man.
They can't kill all of us, right? That's how it works. That's how it works in horror.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, legally
They have to
speaking.
kill one at a
There's
time. One at a
cooldown
time.
period,
Yeah.
like in Among Us.
And slowly. Yeah.
It's 45 seconds.
Yeah. Low visibility. It's fine.
Sabotage lanes.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all
Shit.
y'all got good stories. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So DJB, do you after that thing on Lake Herman Road, you tried again, right? For Randonauting?
Yeah, we did, but I feel like we were a little more cautious after that because of the mind blowing
Yeah.
potential for maybe this shit is real. So if we look for something dangerous, we
Maybe
might
I
run
am
into something
tapping into
dangerous.
something.
Yeah, so we took a request from chat, and chat recommended we put our next intention as imprisonment.
Oh no.
God damn.
So yeah, it took us to we were still in Vallejo, and it took us to this house not far from where one of you guys live, actually. Kind of like near Ascot, Rollingwood, that area.
Okay.
But but it was kind of freaky because, like, obviously it's just the power of suggestion
Mhm.
and the context of you're looking for something that's like dark and scary.
Yeah.
But we drive up to this house that has like their fence completely redone, but everything is just like dead. There's nothing in the yard, no grass, nothing, and there's just a bunch of crows.
Jesus.
On the lawn. And that's exactly the point. Like, we drove past the house, we drove around the corner of the house, and the point was like, no, this is where you're supposed to go. The Randonautic app told us to go. And so we just kind of sit in the car for a bit, and we just like look at the house.
Yeah.
And there's a dude like, sitting in his car like across the street of the house, just kind of just sitting there looking around, So I already felt a little uncomfortable, I don't want to I don't want to assume anything suspicious, but I also like know that if I'm, just sitting in my car scoping at a house, like, that already looks suspicious as well, like
Yeah.
on my
You're
end.
equally, yeah.
So you could trigger like an altercation or something,
Yeah.
or something unwanted, even if there's not any bad intention already. But yeah, like I was just kind of like just looking at the house a little bit. I felt a little uncomfortable, so I was just like, all right, let's just go. Because I mean, I
You don't wanna
thought
risk
about it
it.
for a split second. Like what if I knock on the door? What if I ring
Yeah.
the bell?
Right.
Or what if I say hi to the guy that's sitting in his car? Like, what would happen?
Right.
Chat was like, oh, they might like knock you over the head, throw you in your trunk, and imprison you
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that. Just the possibilities of like, maybe somebody is imprisoned within that house, but I know that, like, of course, that's just speculation. There's no proof
Yeah.
of that or anything.
And your
It's
mind
just-
is racing at that point, like
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
And someone makes a good point in my chat. And it's just they talk about like the symbolism of crows and how crows have long been like used narratively.
A group of
to
crows is called a
indicate,
murder.
like, there's something sinister.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's true.
I don't know, man, but yeah, like we we stopped looking for scary shit after that.
Yeah. You can go positive with your intentions.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Would you guys ever try the app? I know, Jeremy, you said you wouldn't.
Nope, I'm a straight no,
But
man.
How about you, Ryan? How about you, Matt?
I would totally do that, especially around. Well, it depends on
Okay.
where in Vallejo, but yeah.
I think it depends on what company I'm with. By myself, hell no. but if
Oh, of
but
course
if it was
not.
like
I
a
wouldn't
group
do
of
that.
people,
So Matt and I will be doing it. We'll get back to you
we'll
guys
have
in about a week.
our own stream. It's just gonna be done on
Yeah.
Ryan's phone, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. The shittiest
So-
one.
If it's the four of us, I would totally do it, since I know there's like other people with me. But if I'm just
Yeah.
with one other person, I don't think I would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's the four of us, then we gotta go like hard mode. Do it like late at night.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Hey,
What the hell?
I have headlamps. We could wear it on our heads, be all professional. Get our night vision.
Sure.
We need
do
we
this.
need video cameras, tripods,
Spirit
EMF,
box.
spirit box,
Yeah.
EMF reader, smudge sticks, lighters, candles.
Remember, social
I'll get the salt.
distancing is at its peak at night when
Yeah.
nobody's out
Blur-
anyway. So
blur.
it's fine.
That's even scarier.
Yeah. And we'll start on Lake Herman Road. Just.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's just do
Man,
it
you're
right
in
back
expert
out there.
mode. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, man. Ugh.
That's so. I actually have a technical question for you, DJB. So it looked like you had your phone, but you were also recording on another phone for the stream. How'd that work?
I was just using my wife's phone.
Oh,
Yeah, my
oh, I
wife's phone
see.
was the streaming phone, and then I was using my phone for using the app.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm not legit like some of these people. Like I went to TwitchCon and like I saw like these hardcore IRL streamers that
Like
have
the ones
a,
with the backpack.
yeah,
and,
like a harness with, and then like
Thank
a
you.
like a gooseneck stick like sticking out with the camera always on them.
And then those
Wow.
Wi-Fi cards in the backpack.
Right.
Wow.
That's how I wondered how they did that. I was like, how do they have such good connection out there? But then yeah,
Just get a
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
cards,
card.
all that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
Wow, I'm freaked out. Y'all
Yeah.
said a lot of great stories.
What's spooky
All right,
season?
so the ideal is to use that app and go to the suicide place, right? Got it.
Yeah.
That's why I
That's the end
suggested.
game. That's the
I don't even think you need the app at that point. You don't need the fucking app at that point. What the hell?
yeah.
No, these
Like,
are
you
tiers.
use
We
the
just
app,
got to do both.
It's just like all these red dots start popping up around you.
Oh, dude. Oh no. So
That'd be
I wonder if
amazing.
that app works in Japan at all. Like I'm curious to like if anyone's tried it in Japan. I'm sure they have. But like,
Yeah, I'm sure some tourists have.
right?
Yeah, some bros just going, oh, bro, we gotta use this in that forest.
Yeah.
Fucking Jake Paul it up or whatever.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. Oh man. All right, guys. I think we can close it out.
Are you sure? I'm kind of spooked.
I think
right
I want to
now.
talk about peanut butter more.
Yeah, I'll just talk about Dead by Daylight more.
Yeah, all right, that's number 4,
Number 4.
boys. Drink
Push
again.
out.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and empty your drink.
just drink the whole bottle at this point.
Go for broke, basically. Let's do this.
Oh man. All right, y'all. If you would like to leave a comment or question, go to www.downtime.live. You can click on the comment button and you can write a comment or question there in the form, and it'll send us to our email. If you want to email us the old-fashioned way, go to contact@downtime.live. Contact@downtime.live to send us a comment or question via email. You can leave us a comment or question wherever this podcast is hosted, YouTube, Podbean, wherever you can leave comments on. You can also find our podcast on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You're welcome to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll read it on the podcast. If you want to join our Discord, The link to join it is in the description of wherever this is hosted. And you can join the Discord where we talk about video games, music, movies, TV shows, anything. Yeah, you can ask Ryan a question if you want to. Ask him about his water fetish, and I'm sure he'll answer.
I'll show you. You don't have to ask.
DJB, you have the floor.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks again for having me on again, Jeremy. Yeah, and guys, you can follow my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/DJBabinkahan.
Woo.
And I'm also a co-host on the Bastos podcast, which just dropped episode 4, so be sure to check that out as well. And that's it.
Cool. Matt, Ryan, any closing words? Anything you want to add?
Just one.
Yep.
Vote. Please vote. That's it. You guys are doing great. Shout out to the Discord.
If you're in the US, yes, please vote. Cool, guys. Well, DJB, Matt, Ryan, thank you guys for joining me on episode 146. This is a lot of fun.
I love you.
Everyone have a good night. See ya.
Peace out.
And then outro music. Right?